Uncle Tim and Grandpa in their comedy routine tonight.
Well, we're called those big fellows with a very little act. Well, thanks, Ralph, for the very warm welcome. Ralph loves to play golf, and Dad, in fact, he played golf today. I heard he hit 2 good balls. He stepped on a rake.
I'm glad we left room for laughing. It's great to be here. I took a physical a couple of weeks ago, and the doctor told me I was going to live to be 83. I said, I am 83. He said, see, what did I tell you? Marty and I took an airplane trip to a game at Ohio State. We went in there, I had 3 bags, and I told a ticket agent, send 1 to Chicago, 1 to LA, and 1 to LaGuardia. She said, we can't do that. And I said, well, you did it last week.
You know, speaking of flying, recently Tom and Angie went to Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby. Let me tell you, the horse Tom bet on was so slow, the jockey kept a diary of the trip. The horse came in so late, he had to tiptoe into the stable. When I watched the Derby, that was the first time ever I saw a horse that started from a kneeling position.
I traveled all over the world where I was working. I got a hotel in Paris. It was absolutely terrible. I checked in, there was a girl knocking on the door all night. What happened? I finally let her out in the morning. The room was so lousy, it didn't have a closet. All he had was a nail on the wall. And I called room service, they had an unlisted number. And it was in a tough neighborhood. When I checked out, they stole my towel.
You know, on the way over here, I was walking with Rachel, and this guy was hit by a car. He's lying on the ground there. Rachel runs up and says, sir, are you comfortable? He said, well, I make a good living.
So, you know, I had a couple of surgeries on my shoulder. I told the doctor on the second time, I said, I can't afford it. He said, don't worry, I'll touch up the x-rays. And I told him Mom has arthritis, so I examined Mom's arthritis. And a couple of weeks later, he called and said, your check came back. And I said, so did her arthritis. You know, my friend, he gave him 6 months to live, the same doctor. And the guy said, well, I can't pay, I'm sorry. And he gave him another 6 months.
You know, Dad, I tell you, the last time I saw my doctor, he grabbed my wallet and he said, cough. I told the doctor I've got ringing in my ears. I said, what should I do? And he said, don't answer. And I said, I hurt my leg. What should I do there? And he said, limp.
You know, this friend of mine broke his leg in 2 places, and we looked at the doctor, and the doctor said, stop going to those places. When I was young, I got a vasectomy. And I came home, Marty said, we have a discount at Sears. So every time we had sex, the garage door went open. I had my shoulder surgery. I got kind of depressed, so I went up to the 10th floor of the RJ Reynolds building. And Mom got a little concerned, so she sent the minister up. He came up. You know.
What did he say?
He said, I'm your mark.
Speaking of doctors, Dad, last week I saw my psychiatrist. I said, Doc, I keep thinking I'm a dog. He told me to get down from the couch. This other day I went to a psychiatrist and said, Doctor, nobody listens to me. And the doctor said, next.
My good friend swallowed a whole bottle of sleeping pills. He went to the doctor, and the doctor said, don't worry, just go sleep it off. I told the Doc. I said, every time I get up in the morning, I feel like throwing up. What's wrong with me? He said, I don't know, but your eyesight is perfect.
Last time I was up visiting, I saw Dr. Yancey, the dentist, and I said, Dr. Yancey, my teeth are so yellow, what should I do? And he said, wear a brown necktie. Anyway, I meant to tell Dad we're very proud that he stopped drinking.
I don't drink any more, but I don't drink any less either. When I was young, my mother gave me a book on the evils of drinking. I read the books.
Well, what happened then? Did you stop drinking?
I stopped reading. You know, my friend and I got hauled before a judge, and he said, "You're here for drinking." And I said, "When do we start?" I hit 70. Mom said, "Do you need glasses?" I said, "No, I'll just drink out of the bottle." I kind of drank so much when I went in and the doctor drew blood, he ran a tab. Anyway, you know, and then finally the doctor said, "You better watch your drinking." So I went home and drank in front of a mirror.
Mom has been very supportive, Dad, in your drinking problem.
Yes, my mother's wonderful. You know what it means to come home late at night and get some love and affection and counseling and so forth, Tim?
What does it mean, Dad?
It means you're in the wrong house.
My neighbor, they're into astrology. His wife is an earth sign and he's a water sign. Together they make mud. I call them a fastidious couple. He's fast and she's hideous. No, but the guy's a very good husband. You know, he takes his wife everywhere, but the problem is she always finds her way back. When I was younger, I went on a date. And it didn't go very well. I asked the girl if I could give her a goodnight kiss on the cheek. She bent over. When I was married, I said, "Honey, where would you like to go on our anniversary?" She said, "Take me someplace I've never been before." And I said, "How about the bedroom?" When we had sex, it was always for a purpose. One time she used me to time an egg. I asked her to rape me in the bedroom, she gave me one finger up.
I wouldn't say Mom was a bad driver, because sometimes she hit a deer. And, you know, people hit a deer because of the headlights and nights and so forth, but the problem is the deer was in the zoo. One time I came home, and the car was in the living room. And I said, "How did you do this?" And she said, "Easy, I just turned left at the kitchen." I wouldn't say she's a bad driver. She came back the other day with from Plain Bridge, and there was a pair of shoes on the hood from the last guy she hit.
But that mom is terrific. We come from a long line of people in our family tree.
I looked up our family tree, there were 3 dogs using it. I had a distant relative call, he was gay, and he said, "Where can I find myself on a family tree?" I said, "Look in the fruit section."
A lot of people are on diets these days. We're all dieting and so forth. Well, a woman I know is on this particular diet. She eats coconuts and bananas. She hasn't lost any weight, but man, can she climb a tree? Not that she's attractive, she does everything she can to look good. In fact, she was in a beauty shop for 2 hours, and that was just for the estimate. And at a local spa, she got a mud pack and looked great for 2 days, and then the mud fell off.
When I was in high school, I wanted a girl that had a face like a saint, like a Saint Bernard. She used to get her hair done at PetSmart.
And speaking of pets, do you miss Daisy?
Yes, although we ought to change the name to Egypt.
To Egypt, why?
She keeps leaving pyramids in the room.
Well, Dad, I think we're getting close to wrapping it up here. I need to go back and work on my Joe Biden jigsaw puzzle. It's one piece.
We have Danny taking care of us in Washington. They cut the budget on the pilots for the helicopters. So Danny recommended the guy. The guy came and he got in the helicopter. Up he went, and boy, he came down right away and crashed. Danny ran over and said, "What happened?" The guy said, "Well, it was a little cold up there, so I turned off the fan." Obama, he takes care of, he looks at everything in the White House, okay? So one time he found out that they forgot to take the garbage out. So he grabbed it and started running after the garbage truck. And he said, "Is it too late for the garbage?" And they said, "No, jump in."